What if everything you've been told about your skin wasn't the full story? I'm Abhyona, licensed esthetician and skin coach, and this is Clear and Correct Ish, the podcast where we cut through the noise and clear up the confusion. If you're ready to get real answers and take back control of your skin, hit subscribe and let's get into it. Hey, friend. If you've ever been told to drink more water, stop eating chocolate, or just wash your face more to clear your acne, we need to talk. This internet is full of bad skincare advice, and today we're setting the record straight. So, if you've ever wondered, why am I still breaking out when I've done everything right, grab a seat because you're about to find out. So, myth number one that I hear all the time is just drink more water, your skin will clear up. And water is important for your health, but it is not an acne treatment, Like, just think about it. If hydration alone cured acne, wouldn't everyone with clear skin just be super hydrated? Wouldn't there not ever be any acne? The truth is that acne is driven by hormones, bacteria, inflammation, and clogged pores, not just your hydration levels. Now, does dehydration make acne worse? Yes. If your skin is dry and flaky, it can lead to increased oil production, and that increased oil production leads to clogged pores or can lead to clogged pores. So, should you drink water? Absolutely. Will it magically cure your breakouts? Not a chance. Myth number two I often hear is chocolate and greasy foods cause acne. Now, I've heard people say, oh, girl, put that pizza down. It's going to break you out. Here's the truth. Greasy foods and chocolate don't directly cause acne, but, and this is a big but, certain foods can trigger acne for some people. So, for example, diets that are often high in refined sugar, dairy, and processed foods, they can cause insulin spikes, which do lead to inflammation and excess oil production in some people. Now, let's talk about what's actually happening on your skin, though, when you see that. So, the increased oil production is a result of your insulin spiking, as I just shared. And it tells your skin to produce more sebum, which is oil. And when your skin produces more oil, it increases the chances of your pores clogging more. But then what also happens too is you see more inflammation on your skin in the form of red breakouts. And the inflammation is triggered by the sugary, high glycemic foods that can make your acne angrier, more red, and more painful. And so we call that inflamed acne. So if you struggle with inflamed acne, which can look like cysts and what they call pustules on your skin, they're red, they're angry, they're irritated. Your diet could be fueling that fire. So you are someone that may want to consider what you're eating. And then there's the hormonal disruption that you'll notice on your skin. And so that tends to be deeper, sometimes more cystic breakouts. If dairy or processed foods are causing these hormonal fluctuations, you'll likely see painful breakouts along your jawline, your chin, your cheeks, even your forehead. And that was where I suffered, was with the hormonal disruption. And they tended to be deeper, stubborn, and slower to heal. Like, I hated it. Absolutely hated it. So, from my experience and education, a single slice of pizza isn't your enemy. But I will say, if your diet is consistently loaded with high glycemic, inflammatory foods, you're essentially creating the perfect storm for your breakouts. And you've named her Hurricane Acne. Here in Florida, we're used to hurricane season with the alphabet. So that is where that joke comes from, the hurricane acne. But I will say the key for you is going to be balance, not restriction. I don't believe in restricting. I don't advise my clients to restrict. I do advise them to eliminate if we know that something is a hard trigger. What I actually encourage them to do, rather than cutting out those entire food groups, is to increase their intake of non-inflammatory foods and maybe even focus on swapping out some items for more nutrient dense, acne friendly options in their diet. Perhaps if they are consuming something that's very high sugar, a juice, I may consider recommending to them, hey, maybe swap that for coconut water because of the electrolytes, the natural sugars that your body will respond to differently. And so that's an example. But with every client, that can vary based on what my recommendation would be. The third myth that I often hear, which we'll close with, is you need to wash your face more to get rid of acne. And if I tell you there's one I can't stand, it's this one. Cannot stand it. There's a particular community that this is all they live by, they promote, and I'm like, this is a lie. Capital L, capital I, capital E. You know, this one makes me cringe because it's one of the most common, but it actually makes your acne worse. And people don't realize it. Like, I get it. When you see a breakout, your first instinct is to rub, is to go scrub, is to clean. But acne isn't dirt. I just told you it's inflammation, it's bacteria, it's a hormonal disruption. It's not dirt. So therefore, you're not washing anything away, but damaging your skin barrier. If you look at your skin barrier as a fortified wall to prevent any armies invading it, right? You're tearing that down by scrubbing and washing and thinking that you're going to get rid of the acne in that way, because you won't. Overwashing and using those harsh scrubs is literally doing nothing for you but stripping your skin's natural barrier, that fortified wall I just talked about. And then what happens is when you do that, it leads to more oil production, your skin is more irritated, and then you have more breakouts. And so what you actually need instead is a gentle acne-safe routine that is not going to leave you battling against your skin. And so here are my final thoughts on today's episodes. Now that you know the truth, drinking water won't cure acne. Greasy foods aren't the issue. It's the high glycemic ones. And overwashing your face does more harm than good. So if today's episode gave you an aha moment, do me a favor, subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you're ready to figure out your acne trigger, now's a great time to take my acne type quiz. It's linked in the description. And drop a comment below or DM me on IG at MyHughBeauty with your biggest skincare myth. I want to talk about it and maybe even feature it on an episode. So see you next time, friends. And remember, stay clear, stay confident, and stay correct-ish.